Okay, so here's the deal. Like 3 years ago, I went through this little stretch where I had insomnia. Like my brain wouldn't shut off, so I'd be up all night. And finally, I was like, oh, I should do something constructive during this time and work on my comedy and try to make some funny videos. Um, haven't done that in a while, and one of the favorite ones that people liked the most back then was one called Girl Questions, where I would take these questions that were submitted to Cosmopolitan Magazine and I would answer them from the guy's perspective. Um, so I have insomnia tonight. My brain won't shut off, so I'm going to start doing these again. Plus, you guys, it's 3 years later. I'm way funnier now. So here we go. I am into Cosmopolitan Magazine, but these aren't questions. This is a top 10 list. It's a top 10 list, and I will address it from the guy's perspective for you. Here we go. Okay, so here we go. These are 10 signs that you're not sexually compatible as a couple. 10 signs that you're not sexually compatible as a couple. And number one is your sex is rarely spontaneous. He never jumps you at the door. Okay, first of all, that doesn't mean that you're not sexually compatible. That could mean a lot of things. Like it could mean that he is a serial killer or a serial rapist. Because if you have a relationship and he jumps you at the door, that could just mean, like for a regular guy, that's like masturbating instead of having sex. Like, he couldn't go out and serial kill or serial rape that night because you guys had plans to do something. So he's settling for the closest thing he can get to that by attacking you. So if your guy is really heavy into role play, where you're usually playing a victim of some kind, and he's accosting you in pretend play, you need to maybe start looking around a little bit when he's not home. Like go through some drawers, go through a closet, maybe a locked chest that he keeps in the attic. You gotta get to the bottom of this because it could be a sign of something much more devious going on than he's just compatible. Okay, number two, you have absolutely zero sex positions that you both enjoy. Essentially, at any given time during sex, one of you isn't enjoying yourself. You're just doing it to get the other one off. Okay, again, there are no absolutes in this game, guys. Just because you don't have a sexual position that you both enjoy at the same time with each other doesn't mean that you're not compatible sexually. Okay, let's not just grasp at the obvious right away. Sometimes there's other reasons for it. There could be a litany of reasons why you guys can't enjoy a common sexual position. You know, again, he could be a serial killer and he's just picking some really weird positions that you're not into, like being unconscious. You shouldn't enjoy being unconscious during that, and by all means, he shouldn't be enjoying you being unconscious during that. Okay, so what are you trying to do? Why are you even in this relationship? Okay, this guy's doing some sick things, and you're just okay with it. You're just going to blame it on the fact that you're not compatible during sex. Come on, what are you doing with your life? This guy is out killing people, and you're making him dinner and making his life better when he gets home. You're partially at fault for what he's become. You've enabled the monster, and now he feeds. Okay, number three. You can never, ever get a rhythm going. Anytime you start getting into it, the other one starts moving their hips opposite you like you're operating a tandem saw with your junk, like pervert lumberjacks. And then the moment is ruined. I would agree that anything that reminds you of perverted lumberjacks is going to be a turnoff. And if this move is causing that, you're having problems. You need to think about something that doesn't involve hip movement at all. There are positions that don't involve hip movement. Doggy style, that's more thrusting. It's thrusting and advancing. and then retreating. If you're the girl, you're advancing and then retreating, advancing and then retreating. So maybe try that. Don't get caught up in the swirly sex positions. Okay, those are hard, especially for white guys. They're really, really hard. Number 4. One of you is constantly zoning out, and it's painfully obvious. Oh no, I was just getting into it, you clumsily say. But you weren't. You were staring at the weird stain on the carpet. Okay, of course you were staring at the weird stain on the carpet. This is like the 7th time you think you've discovered a blood stain inside your home. You should be really freaked out by now. Like, what are you doing? You're still with this guy? You're not going to investigate any. Get out of the house. Just get out of the house because you're sleeping with the enemy. You need to Julia Roberts that shit. You need to pretend that you drowned, fake your own drowning, and then you move away. You get a whole new identity. Use that money you've been saving up. Go get a nice little house out in the country and start dating the music teacher. Number 5. You tend to have sex with the TV on. You don't want to say anything, but you suspect your partner doesn't mind the TV on because they're also watching it. Okay, this is going to depend on what's on TV. If it's porn on TV, cool. That works for a lot of people. If it's some kind of financial stock show or like something from the cooking channel, and one of you is into that, then you're checked out. You're not enjoying what's happening in that bed when you're into watching a show like that. Also, I would say if only one of you is enjoying the program that's on, and it's Silence of the Lambs, let's say, if he is really into Silence of the Lambs while you're having sex, again, get the fuck out. Number 6. You really only ever have sex on holidays and birthdays. And even then, it feels like it's out of obligation to each other. And that happens sometimes, I think, when it just, that depends how long you've been married. I think it gets to a point where sex is a special occasion. If you're a younger person and it's only happened in these instances, I would say, it's important then to examine when you are having sex only on birthdays, whose birthdays are those? If it's your own birthday or his birthday, okay, you just have a very slow sex life. If it's only sex on the birthdays of John Wayne Gacy or Ted Bundy, then again, I revert back to the earlier issue we discussed. Okay, number 7. You're never horny at the same time, ever. When you're horny, your partner is busy, and vice versa. Depends. Sometimes after a kill, it takes the guy a long time to come down off that high, and he just needs alone time. He just wants to go out into the garage, take whatever mementos he has collected from the kill, and hide those in his special place out in the shed or garage. And then sometimes he'll get aroused during that process, and he'll come back to the game. But otherwise, you know what? Let sleeping dogs lie. Don't poke the bear. Just go to bed. Number 8. You wind up finishing yourself off. Not just occasionally, always. It's totally fine if you just can't get there every time. But your sex life has basically devolved into masturbation with spectators. Okay, first of all, you put an S at the end of spectators, so that's a whole different ball game. Just with Tim there, that's a spectator. You're bringing friends into the mix, which is going to cause complications. So if you're masturbating in front of the neighbors, and other people that you're not married or engaged to or living with, um, maybe it's your issue, and that's why he gets so stressed all the time because you want to masturbate in front of everybody, and he's not into that. So he finally he gets so stressed he goes out and starts killing people, um, just random people, mostly prostitutes, but still, you know what? They have families. That's somebody's daughter. It's somebody's mother. Somebody's sister, and you're causing this situation. You just stop masturbating in front of crowds of people because he's not into it and he's freaking out. He doesn't know how to deal with it. And people are dying. Number 9. Your libidos feel totally mismatched. If he wants to have sex 6 times a week and you're generally comfortable with only 2 times a week, this is bound to lead to both of you getting frustrated that your needs aren't being met. Yeah, those numbers don't match. I mean, he's wanting it 6 times a week. You're only wanting it 2. So maybe this is time for a compromise where you meet in the middle, at 4. So maybe you approach him and say, listen, I love you. Therefore, I am willing to have sex 2 more times in a week than I want to, as long as you're cool with having sex 2 times less in a week than what you want to. And if he's cool with that, suck it up. All right. He met you there. He sacrificed. You need to up your game. The good news is in this scenario, if he's wanting to have sex 6 times in a week, he's not a serial killer. A serial killer will not have consensual sex that many times in a week, so you're in the clear there. I will say the fact that you only want sex twice a week is a little disturbing. Maybe you bought a ticket for the crazy train. Maybe you need to go seek some help with your disorder, or you're having an affair. It's one of those 2 things. Number 10. We made it, guys. Last one. Here we go. Number 10. You don't always have an orgasm when having sex with your boyfriend. However, your friend told you she always orgasms with her boyfriend. She's a fucking liar.